Hey there, this tutorial focuses on adding color to text. Typically the default color for text is going to be just your basic black ink. But you have the ability to add many different colors to that. First of all, I want you to be aware that right now I'm working inside of a text frame over here on the left-hand page. That text frame is blue, and it's matched up pretty close with the edges of the page here. Not quite perfect, but pretty close. Okay, so you can see here that I have 4 words, adding color to text. Already typed in here, and now I'm going to show you how to change the color of those words. Alright, first of all, in order to change the color of any word, you have to select it. So in this case, I'm going to select just the word adding. And now when you're working with colors, there are so many different options available to you. It is kind of overwhelming. You can actually access colors through a couple different avenues. First of all, under Windows, you're going to have color as an option, and you can go over to color or color gradient or swatches. You're going to learn about gradients and swatches a little later, but if you click on color, this is going to pop up for you, and you can see there's no color there. It's just all black and white. But if I click on this, I can pull up my lab, and in my lab I can adjust my colors. If I want, I can change that to CMYK, and I can slide this around, and you can see down here that it's going to change the color of my text. So that's one way that you can add color to your page. Another and really an easier way that I have found is to highlight those words again that you want to change, and then go up here. Okay, right here and right here are 2 different options for adding color to just about anything on an InDesign page. The top one that has the T in it is going to color the text itself. This right here is going to color the edges. So right now you can see it's yellow because it already knows that this is yellow. So if I click here, I have some default colors, or I can click again in here, and I can open up my colors, change some things. Here, let me go back. Okay, these are the basic colors. These are already figured in, but I can click in here, and it basically is going to bring up what we had before, where I can kind of modify those colors a little bit. Okay, so I modified that and made it blue. So that's this one up here. You have, first of all, your primary colors are already in here loaded, and then I'll teach you how to load swatches later on, but then you can also click next to any of them and open this up. This is just going to allow you to go in there and modify those colors. Okay, so now you can see I've changed it to pink. Okay, so that is to change the actual color of the text. Now what I want to show you is that right here you can change the border of the text. Right now there's no border. I'm going to add a paper border, a white border, and you see here you can't really see that. And the reason that you can't see that is because the background's white. But there's actually a white border around these letters. And obviously, like I said, you can't see that. But if I change that color to blue, now hopefully you can see that there is a border or an edge around that. If I change it to green, hopefully you can see that. That's a little tougher to see, I think, just because of the pink. So a good way to do that is to really have contrasting colors. And if you look here, if I make my letters actually color paper, which is white, you can kind of see the border around it a lot better. and I can change that border to black if I want. And so now you kind of get an idea of what you can do with color here. So basically, this top option here allows you to change the color that's filled into the letters, and then the bottom down here is going to do what they call stroke. Stroke is adding the edge around the letters. You don't have to use a stroke. You can turn it off by clicking none, and then it'll go away, and then you can see my letters went away. Now, there's another thing that we can do here that goes along with this, and I want to teach this to you right now as well. And that is that I not only can change the color of my text, I'm going to put this back to black just so we can see it again. Okay, not only can I change the color of the text itself by highlighting the text, but if I go over here and I use my selection tool and select not individual letters or words, but just the whole text box itself, I can go up here again and I can add color to, and this is going to add color not to the letters, but to the box. You'll see there now that I have a pink text frame with black lettering in it. I also can go down here to the stroke option, and I can add a stroke or an edge around that. Now when I do that, it works a little bit differently than text. And here, let me kind of move this text down so you can see it really well. Okay, so I'm working with, again, the selection tool and the text frame itself and not the text inside of it. And you can see I have a pink text frame with a blue border around the frame. And you can see right here this dark black line, and then above it this number 1 PT. What this is the thickness of that line around it. I can adjust that right here. I can make that line thicker. And then down here, this is a solid line. I can change that if I want to. There's a lot of different options. Be really careful with borders, although they're fun to mess with. They can really get, just to be blunt, they can get pretty ugly, so be really careful. Typically we use a 1-point border around pictures. Sometimes a slightly thicker border for some design purposes is okay, but you want to avoid making the border too thick, because what happens if you make it too thick is it kind of draws the attention away from what's inside of the frame to the frame itself. And we really want people to focus on what's in here, whether it be these words or whether it be a picture, as we'll get into later on. Okay, now not only can you add color, but of course you can change the color of individual words or letters. If I want, I can make one letter yellow, the next letter red, and if I want to, you know, I can kind of alternate, and I'm going to get rid of this background color here, so let's make it white. And I can kind of alternate, you know, back and forth between this red and yellow, and you can kind of see how that, you know, might add an interesting effect depending on what you're doing. So that is our lesson on how to add color to text, how to add a stroke around the text, how to add color to a text frame, and how to add a stroke around a text frame. And hopefully those are things that you'll be able to use as we move further into our yearbook year. Thank you very much.